I know you didn't just open this by accident. Something guided you here, something divine. Someone is watching you from above, and they've been begging heaven for hours just to get this one moment through to you. Your soul must have felt the pull, because this isn't just a message. This is a coded miracle, one designed only for the chosen. Now listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to say isn't meant for anyone else but you. Close the door. Silence the noise, because in exactly 2 minutes, something spiritual, shocking, and supernatural is about to begin in your life. Yes, you, the one who's been hurting in silence, the one who's been waiting for a sign, the one who feels forgotten. Heaven sees everything, and today they respond. God is not just whispering anymore. God is begging you to stay on this message. Because if you scroll away, if you ignore this again like you always do, you might miss the one divine moment your entire soul has been craving for lifetimes. I don't say that lightly, because a miracle is unlocking. Something that was blocked for years will flow. Something that was stolen from you will return. Someone who walked away will turn around, and every prayer you cried when no one was watching, they're being opened like sacred scrolls in front of Archangel Michael's throne. He read them. He wept over them. He fought for them. And now he's delivering the miracle you don't even think you deserve anymore. But guess what? You do let that sink in, because if your heart skipped even once reading this, then you already feel what's coming. Love letter. Wait, before we dive deeper, if your heart is racing right now, and you know this is for you, subscribe to this light. Yes, hit that follow or subscribe button right now, because this is not the last time heaven will try to contact you through this place. If you felt chills, that's confirmation. Don't let this divine line of contact be broken again. Now, lean in, because this message is not written in ink. It's written in divine fire. Archangel Michael says, tell them this is their moment. Tell them to listen. Tell them if they skip this one, the heavens will go silent for a while, because this alignment is rare and this timing is sacred. You may not realize it yet, but the air around you is already shifting. Spirits are moving. A guardian has been standing by your window last night, watching, waiting, protecting. Do you remember waking up at 3:00 a.m.? That wasn't random. Do you remember hearing your name in a whisper when no one was around? That wasn't your imagination. Do you remember seeing repeating numbers, lights flicker, people randomly talking about God around you? All of that was this. Every sign was leading you here, because heaven is trying to alert you. You've been under divine surveillance. Your tears have been kept in golden jars. Your broken dreams have been folded into scrolls and placed at God's feet. And now they are being unfolded. Do you know what that means? It means your life is about to split into 2 timelines. One where you skip this message and continue wondering why everything feels like it's on pause. One where you listen and unlock the destiny you've been begging the universe for. The miracle is not far. It's not next year. It's not next month. It's 2 minutes away from entering your life. But it only comes to those who stay, who believe, who keep reading, who don't scroll, because this moment is sacred. It's not a message, it's a visitation. You've been asking God, Please send me proof you're real. Please just give me a hint that I matter. Please show me that I haven't been forgotten. This is your proof. This is God breaking protocol. This is Archangel Michael stepping out of spiritual court to knock directly on the gates of your heart. He says, "Chosen one, you are about to see why it never worked out with anyone else, because this miracle is only for you. You don't have to beg anymore. You don't have to chase anymore. You don't have to cry yourself to sleep wondering if heaven hears you. They do, and they are moving fast. But here's what most don't realize. Not everyone gets this message. Only a handful. Only the ones spiritually awake enough to see the divine even in the digital. Only those whose soul frequency matches the vibration of heaven right now. And yours does. Don't question how or why. Just know you are chosen and what's coming will leave you on your knees in gratitude. Before this day ends, a sign will appear. A phone call, a number, a message, a coincidence so precise you'll freeze. That's your confirmation that this moment wasn't a scroll. It was a sacred summons. You don't know this yet, but someone powerful is about to mention your name. A breakthrough is being signed in heaven as we speak. Someone who forgot you will remember you so deeply they'll tremble. But here's the secret. You must not tell anyone. This miracle is private. This calling is sacred. If you share it before it completes, you risk losing the entire shift. Michael says, keep it between us. This is between you, me, and heaven. Trust the process. Stay quiet and watch how it all changes. The miracle isn't just external, it's inside you too. A spiritual rebirth is taking place. You won't even recognize yourself in a few days. The anxiety will be replaced by peace. The confusion will melt into clarity. The lack will vanish. Because when God moves, nothing remains the same, and He is moving now. Let this be your first miracle today. You didn't skip this. You stayed. You obeyed that tiny pull in your chest, that whisper that said, "Don't scroll away yet." And because of that obedience, you're now in alignment for the greatest blessing your bloodline has ever seen. Not just for you, but for the ones after you. This is legacy. This is divine inheritance. This is spiritual restoration. And it's yours. You stayed even when your mind tried to convince you this was just another message. Even when doubt tried to whisper, "You've seen this before." Even when fear begged you to scroll away before you believed again. But your soul didn't listen because your soul remembered something your mind forgot. This was written in your destiny. From the day you were born, heaven has had moments like this written in the scroll of your life. Moments where all the silence breaks and all the divine threads start coming together. You might not see it clearly yet, but the spiritual realm is in motion around you right now. Angels are arranging conversations behind your back. Archangel Michael is erasing the names of those who betrayed you from the next season of your life. He is preparing your divine circle. People who don't gossip about you. People who don't compete with you. People who carry you, protect you, celebrate you. And it starts with this message. Because when God is about to change everything, He always sends a warning first, not to scare you, but to prepare you. This isn't a casual update. It's a heavenly alert. the kind that only comes when something big is about to shift. Do you feel that strange pressure in the atmosphere lately? Like something is coming, but you can't name it. That's not just a hunch. That's your soul sensing the arrival of destiny. For so long you were asking, when will it be my turn? And heaven was responding in silence until now, because this is your turn. Archangel Michael is about to do something that even your enemies won't believe. God is about to let the same people who laughed at your delay watch you walk through your deliverance. But here's what's most powerful. It won't just be a miracle. It'll be a multi-layered confirmation. So undeniable, so accurate, so personal, you will cry. Not from pain this time, but from pure sacred joy. Because everything that broke you, everything that crushed you, everything you thought disqualified you, it was all part of the plan. God didn't forget you. He was just preparing the stage so that when he did move, there would be no confusion about who sent the blessing. It wasn't luck. It wasn't people. It was him. And now he's asking, will you trust me one more time? Not with half your heart, but with the same faith you had when you were little, when you believed anything was possible, when your prayers were pure and your hope was unshaken. That's the version of you God is calling back, because the moment is close, so close. And the spiritual resistance you've been facing lately, the warfare, the delay, the sudden exhaustion, it's not coincidence, it's opposition. Because the closer you get to breakthrough, the harder the enemy fights to distract you. But Michael says, don't give in. If you can hold on just a little longer, you will witness what most only dream about. This is not a promise. It's a prophetic confirmation. Your name is being spoken in rooms you haven't entered. Your ideas are being noticed by people in authority. Someone is being prompted by God to reach out to you. And that phone call, that email, that door, it will come out of nowhere. But it won't be random. It will be the exact thing you were praying for 3 months ago, because heaven didn't forget that prayer. It's just that sometimes God hides the answer behind divine timing. Mark it, circle it, bless it, because by the end of that day you will not be the same. Your peace will return, your confidence will glow, your enemies will fall silent, and your testimony will begin. God is shifting things behind the scenes that would blow your mind if you saw it now. That's why you feel uncertain, because things are being rearranged, because a sudden flip is coming. Where you were losing, you will win. Where they counted you out, you will rise. Where they said it's over, heaven says it's only just begun. And listen, this isn't about them. This isn't about proving anyone wrong. This is about proving that faith was never wasted. God is about to reward your private loyalty with a public breakthrough. People who thought you were done will have to witness your elevation, not because you begged, not because you fought, but because you believed. Even when it hurt, even when it was quiet, even when it looked like nothing was changing, you kept your faith. And God never ignores that. He's seen the moments you stood in worship while your heart was breaking. He's seen the way you gave to others when you barely had anything yourself. He's seen the nights you couldn't sleep from the pressure. And he's seen the way you carried your pain with grace. Now he's about to carry you. You won't have to chase this miracle. It's chasing you. It's been looking for you, trying to reach you. And this message, it's the final doorway. Because when the blessing shows up, you'll remember this moment. You'll remember that God gave you a heads up, that Michael sent a warning, that you had 2 minutes to believe something wild was coming. And you chose to believe not with logic, but with your heart. You chose to trust the divine. And because of that, your life is about to split open in the best way possible. You're about to go from overlooked to chosen, from confused to clarified, from barely surviving to overflowing, from delay to divine speed. Heaven is not waiting anymore. The gates are opening, and all that's required from you now. Stay in alignment, stay in expectancy. Don't leak your miracle by sharing it too early. And don't talk yourself out of what's already being sent. The angels are moving. The wind is shifting. Your name is being called in heaven's courts. Your story is being rewritten right now. And this version, it ends in glory. And as this message continues to flow into your spirit, I want you to pause for just one breath and realize this moment is not just about comfort. It's about activation. The divine realm has been waiting for you to step into position. And now that you've aligned, now that your heart is open and your spirit is listening, God is releasing the things that were withheld. Not because you weren't worthy, but because the timing wasn't right. But now heaven is in full agreement. The delays are ending. The doors are being unlocked. The rooms they said you'd never enter, they're opening for you. Not by force, not by manipulation, but because your name is written in spiritual gold on doors you don't even know exist yet. And that pull you've been feeling lately, that strange sense that something's about to happen, but you can't explain it. That's spiritual alignment. That's your spirit sensing the angels positioning themselves around you, preparing to carry you into the next chapter that God has already completed before you even asked. You may have thought you were behind, that you missed the mark, that too many mistakes had cost you your shot. But heaven doesn't operate on man's timelines, and what you thought was a breakdown was actually a hidden reset. God let some things fall apart because what you were holding on to would have collapsed under the weight of your next blessing. You didn't lose it, beloved. You were rescued from it because what's coming next is not small. It's not ordinary. It's not something you can figure out on your own. It's a complete spiritual acceleration that will require only one thing from you: obedience to this moment, not perfection, not performance, just your willingness to say, God, I still believe even now. And that faith, that mustard seed-sized, exhausted, trembling faith is what's unlocking the vault. Michael is already in motion. Do you understand what that means? It means that even while you're sitting here wondering how it's going to happen, heaven is already executing it. Conversations are shifting in your favor. Emails you haven't sent yet are being anticipated. People who once ignored you will suddenly feel convicted to call. And you won't even have to explain yourself because God will make your name carry a presence they cannot ignore. This is not exaggeration. This is not poetic hype. This is prophetic reality. That's the divine timestamp written across the spiritual blueprint for your breakthrough. There are some things that couldn't be rushed. The kind of blessings God is releasing for you required perfect preparation. You weren't being punished. You were being protected. Protected from jumping too soon. Protected from connecting to the wrong people. Protected from self-sabotage. And now, because you stayed, because you didn't walk away, because you still dared to hope, God is answering with speed. Not human speed, divine speed. What should have taken 10 years is going to happen in 10 days. What you thought would require struggle will fall into place with grace. And every no that shattered you will suddenly make sense as the right yes shows up without warning. I need you to understand how much heaven has invested in you. You weren't random. You weren't forgotten. There was a counsel in heaven about your life, and your name passed through divine lips. Archangel Michael was assigned to you, and that means something. That means no matter how dark it gets, no matter how many betrayals come, no matter how loud the enemy roars, you don't lose. You might cry, you might fall, but in the end you rise because your victory isn't dependent on your strength. It's anchored in divine authority. And when God decrees a thing, no force on earth or hell can stop it. Now, here's the part that will challenge you, but it's where the miracle hides. You must protect your atmosphere. You can't just carry this word and continue as normal. You can't speak life over your destiny and then entertain people who only speak doubt. You can't be preparing for breakthrough and still be connected to people who think small, live small, and pray small. This next chapter requires consecration. Yes, you'll still be you. Yes, you'll still laugh and love and enjoy life. But your spirit has to stay clean. Your energy has to stay elevated, and your vision has to stay uncontaminated, because what you're carrying now is too valuable to leak through careless association. There is a version of you rising that doesn't beg anymore, that doesn't shrink to fit in, that doesn't explain your anointing to those who never respected it. That version is being formed right now in this message, in this moment, in the stillness between your heartbeats. And when it fully emerges, people will stare in awe. Not because you're trying to impress them, but because the glory of God on your life will be undeniable. And the best part, you won't have to prove anything. The fruit will speak, the glow will speak, the blessings will speak, your presence will speak. But don't rush it. Just because the promise is close doesn't mean you force the outcome. Rest, let it come. Let the phone ring. Let the email show up. Let the conversation shift in your favor. It's not your job to manipulate the outcome. It's your job to stay in divine trust, because the same God who brought you this message is the same God who is orchestrating the miracle. He didn't send this just to inspire you. He sent it to alert you because something you've been praying for, maybe even forgot you asked for, is already in transit. There are divine messengers assigned to you now. They are moving fast. There's urgency in the spirit realm. Before I continue, my beloved child, allow me to pause, for there is a sacred secret I've kept just for you, and now is the moment I choose to reveal it. Secret money attraction code. In 1997, a famous book called the Torah Codes came out. It was connected to Moses and previous books written about him. But here's the kicker. This book contained something different. It showed how the ancient book, the Torah, contained prophecies of future events. The Holocaust, World War II, 911. They were all in there, hidden in the ancient book. What was hidden from most people was that other secrets and codes were hidden in the book too. These codes enabled those in the know to attract unlimited wealth when they were uncovered. The elites wanted to shut this information down, but Moses' secret money attraction code was not completely hidden. If you hurry, click the link in the description or comments section to unlock the secret. You can access Moses' secret money attraction code right here. My beloved child, now is the time to act. Step forward in faith. God bless you. And that's why you're reading this. That's why you couldn't ignore it. That's why even now something inside of you knows this is not like before. This is real. Heaven has a pattern. And when God is about to move, He always sends an announcement. This message is that announcement. Archangel Michael has sounded the spiritual trumpet. The shift has already begun. And you, beloved, are not late. You are right on time. And as the spiritual trumpet continues to sound, you may feel it not in your ears, but in your chest, in your bones, in the parts of your heart you thought had gone numb. That soft pull inside you, the flutter that rises when truth reaches your soul, that's not imagination, that's resonance. Because the words you're reading now are not just words, they are keys. And each sentence is unlocking something that was chained inside of you for far too long. Old griefs are breaking. Old vows are shattering. Old limits are dissolving. The things you told yourself were never going to change are being shifted even as you breathe. You may not see it yet, but there is motion in the spirit, a rhythm forming behind the veil. The steps of angels echoing in halls you once cried alone in. And now those halls will be filled with the sound of divine restoration. The pain that built your foundation is now the same pain God is using to elevate your purpose. You didn't survive all of that for nothing. It was training. It was sacred fire. And you came through it with a soul that shines like gold. God didn't need you to be perfect. He needed you to be present. You didn't have to say the right things or always know the right prayers. All you had to do was stay alive long enough to reach this message. And now that you're here, heaven is making a promise. What's coming will be greater than anything you lost. The weight you've been carrying in secret, yes, even that invisible heaviness you never talk about is going to lift. Not because circumstances changed first, but because you changed. You reached the spiritual threshold. You reached the moment where your faith matured from needing proof to being the proof. You no longer need signs to believe. You are the sign. The light in your eyes, the softness that remains in your heart even after all the betrayal. That's not weakness. That's the mark of someone still deeply loved by God. You are still here after everything. And that means your story is not done, not even close. In fact, it's just starting to get beautiful because the most powerful chapters in any divine journey come right after the darkest nights. The season you just crawled out of wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to strip away every identity, relationship, and illusion that didn't align with who you really are. God had to remove what was built on survival so he could rebuild with truth. And that's why the shaking happened. That's why it felt like things were being pulled from your hands. He wasn't punishing you. He was clearing space, preparing the soil, making room for something far more stable, far more sacred, far more you. You've never been ordinary, and deep down you've always known that. That strange feeling that you're not like everyone else. It's true, you're not. You carry spiritual codes, a vibration, a softness and strength that cannot be replicated. That's why your life has never looked like anyone else's. Why your path has always been more intense, more lonely, more spiritual. It's because God marked you. He selected you before you ever breathed your first breath. And while others tried to fit in, you were set apart. That sacred isolation you resented for years, that was preparation. That was heaven keeping you hidden until the appointed time. And this unfolding miracle, this spiritual activation is part of that unveiling. But listen to me carefully. You must protect this. You cannot carry this kind of light and still entertain conversations soaked in bitterness and fear. You can't scroll through darkness and expect your faith to shine. You can't attach your soul to people who drain your energy and still expect to fly. This miracle requires partnership. You and God, that's it. And when you're in divine alignment, things will begin to fall away. People, habits, old thought patterns. It might feel like loss, but it's not. It's release. Because the space you clear now will determine how much blessing can land when the doors swing open. And oh, beloved, the doors are swinging open. Not one, not two, but multiple doors you didn't knock on. Doors you thought were sealed shut. Doors that others tried to lock. Heaven is bypassing every gatekeeper who thought they had power over your path. And in one divine moment, the same people who try to hold you back will have no choice but to watch you be elevated, not in arrogance, but in divine vindication. Because when God moves in your life, He moves in such a way that no one can deny His fingerprint. And let's speak about that miracle again, the one that's only days away now. It's not just a moment of surprise, it's a reversal. Things that were withheld will be released. Legal situations will begin to shift in your favor. Financial burdens will suddenly find solutions. Health reports will begin to change. Relationships that were blocked by generational wounds will begin to soften. And people you thought were gone for good, some of them may return not to hurt you again, but to heal something ancient. But this time, you won't lose yourself trying to save anyone. You'll walk in such clarity that you'll finally choose you. And in that choosing, miracles multiply. You're not being called to chase anymore. You're being called to receive. You're not being called to hustle or beg or prove. You're being called to align. The divine has already said yes. The only thing that needs to happen now is for your heart to stay open long enough for the miracle to land. You don't have to do more. You don't have to become anyone else. You just have to trust. And in your trusting, things will begin to flow toward you like rivers returning home. You were never forgotten, never left behind. You were just being prepared for a miracle big enough to match the size of your wounds. And now that it's here, you must not let fear make decisions. Fear will tell you to brace for disappointment. But love, God's love, will tell you to brace for overflow. Because what's coming will not just restore you, it will stretch beyond you. It will touch generations. It will be the kind of testimony that your children's children will talk about in wonder. Something shifted in our bloodline when they said yes to God. They'll say, and they'll be right, because your yes right now in this moment in this message is holy. You don't have to know what comes next. Just stay close to the one who does. And I promise you, this story you're living, it will not end in regret. It will end in glory. And as we approach the final stretch of this sacred unfolding, you must understand something very few are ever told. Miracles are not just magical interruptions of reality. They are corrections. Corrections to timelines that were interfered with. Corrections to lies that were spoken over your life. Corrections to the wrong people you trusted. The wrong paths you thought you had to take just to survive. When heaven sends a miracle, it's not a reward. It's a reminder of who you've always been. A divine reroute back to the path that was written for you before fear rewrote the script. And that's what's happening now. God is correcting the course. The angels have already moved. What was meant to happen years ago but got delayed, buried, or resisted, it's now being expedited with divine urgency. This is why you feel what you feel. The spiritual static in your chest, the goosebumps out of nowhere, the emotional waves that crash unexpectedly, those are not random. They are signs, indicators, proof that something you cannot see yet has already begun. What heaven is doing for you right now is more than you could have planned. It is healing childhood fractures you no longer even talk about. It is removing invisible ceilings placed over your purpose. It is undoing the spiritual sabotage sent by those who pretended to love you. Some of the things you're about to receive, you didn't even pray for in words because the pain was so deep you forgot how to ask. But God remembers. He remembers every silent plea. Every time you laid in bed, staring at the ceiling with a heart full of questions and a mouth too tired to pray. He remembers how you smiled during the day and broke down in the dark. He remembers the things you let go of, not because you didn't want them, but because you had to survive. And now He is bringing them back, not as they were, but transformed, elevated, whole. Not the version you begged for, the version that is actually meant for you. And you won't have to beg for it this time. You won't have to chase. You won't have to prove you're worthy. The things that are arriving are not rewards for performance. They are inheritances. And you don't earn an inheritance, you receive it. Not just a calendar date, but a heavenly unlock. A moment in time where what's written in the scrolls of eternity is finally permitted to manifest in the realm of the physical. So stay open, stay grounded, stay watchful, because in the most ordinary moment, in the blink of an eye, everything is going to shift and you'll feel it. Your chest will tighten. Time may feel like it slows. Your eyes might water for no reason. That's how it happens. When heaven touches earth in your favor, your body responds before your mind can understand. And when it happens, let it. Don't talk yourself out of the blessing. Don't downplay the beauty. Don't call it coincidence. Call it what it is, God. Because He is about to surprise you in a way that will silence the loudest fears inside of you. This time when the miracle comes, you won't feel anxious wondering how long it'll stay. You'll feel peace because you'll know it's been divinely assigned to you, and no one can take what's yours this time. The enemy tried to ruin you before it arrived, but he failed. He failed because you're still here. You're still standing. You're still reading this. That's how I know you won. And now you must prepare to walk in that victory. You're no longer allowed to shrink to make others comfortable. You're no longer allowed to accept crumbs just to say you have something. You're no longer allowed to carry guilt for choosing your own healing. This is the season where you rise quietly, confidently, beautifully. And you don't owe anyone an explanation. They won't understand because they didn't sit with you in the dark. They didn't see you wrestle your faith back from despair. They didn't see how hard it was to stay alive when everything inside you felt like it was dying. But God saw, and that's why He's the one rewarding you. Not man, not systems, not validation from outside, but divine restoration from within. When this miracle lands, you'll know it was Him. There will be no question. Everything will be too precise. The timing, the people, the resources, the restoration, it'll all line up so perfectly you'll weep. And when you do, don't fight it. Let the tears flow. Let your spirit breathe. Let your body feel what it's like to be seen by heaven. This isn't just healing, it's recognition. God is letting you know that not a moment of your suffering went unnoticed. And while others may have minimized your pain, God magnified your strength. He saw what no one else saw. And now He's rewarding you publicly for what you endured privately. I want you to begin living like the miracle is already here. Speak differently, expect differently, walk differently. You are not who you were even 1 week ago. Something sacred has already shifted in the spirit. And now your job is to maintain the vibration that allows the miracle to land. Don't lower your energy just to match familiar surroundings. Don't fall back into patterns just to keep others comfortable. Stay elevated. Stay focused. Stay soft but firm. Because you're not just waiting for something. You're carrying something, something holy, something heaven breathed, something that will not only change your life, but ripple out into the lives of everyone connected to you. That's why this is so important. That's why you had to find this message, not just for comfort, but for activation. The miracle needed your agreement. Your spirit needed the confirmation. And now that you've received it, get ready because what's coming will not arrive quietly. It will arrive with power, with clarity, with such perfect timing that you'll laugh through your tears and say, "Only God could have done this." And you'll be right, because it was only God. And He's been waiting for this moment just as long as you have. And now that we've crossed the veil between awareness and activation, there is something deeper that must be revealed to your spirit. It has been hidden until now, not because you weren't ready, but because heaven was still working in secret. The reason certain areas of your life felt mysteriously blocked was never because you were cursed or forgotten. It was because your calling was too great to be opened prematurely. A premature door becomes a trap, but a divine door opened in divine time becomes a launching pad. God was not holding out on you. He was holding you. He was wrapping your destiny in layers of spiritual protection because what he's about to release will carry a weight of influence and legacy that few can handle. You see, this is not just about a miracle you will enjoy. It's about a movement you're destined to lead. And heaven knew that once this activates, your life would no longer be normal. Your words will shift atmospheres. Your decisions will break generational patterns. Your very presence will begin to unsettle darkness in rooms where others remained silent. That's why the warfare was so intense. That's why the attacks came from places you never expected. Because the enemy could smell what you were about to become before you even believed it. And that's what makes your survival so prophetic. You weren't supposed to make it this far. Hell had plans for your silence. Darkness had bets on your self-destruction. But God, oh God, He had a timeline. And even when you tried to sabotage it with your own fear, even when you gave up hope and tried to settle, He didn't walk away. He covered you. He stayed. He waited for this moment. The moment where you would finally believe again, not just in Him, but in you, in who He created, in the one who was never meant to blend in the one He anointed before you were ever broken, in the one who was chosen before they were wounded. You are that one, and this is that moment. So if you're wondering why your energy feels different lately, why you've been craving peace and silence and clarity, it's because your spirit is aligning. Your frequency is rising. Your soul has stepped into readiness. And with that readiness comes revelation. You're going to start seeing things others miss. You'll feel the presence of people's intentions before they even speak. You'll discern when to move and when to wait. And you'll do it with such divine ease that others will think you're lucky. But you'll know the truth. This isn't luck. This is legacy. This is divine compensation for everything you endured when no one else saw your pain. And now we must talk about what to expect next, because the miracle is not just symbolic. It will manifest in real, tangible, undeniable ways. Opportunities will come that seem too good to be true, but they'll be real. Financial resources will appear that don't make sense mathematically, but they'll be accurate. Conversations will start where the right people say the exact things your heart has been waiting to hear. And it won't be flattery. It'll be alignment. The key is this: do not overthink the blessings. You're stepping into a season where ease replaces effort. You won't have to hustle the way you used to. That was for the wilderness. This is the promised land, and in the promised land, obedience produces overflow. You've already passed the test. Now it's time for the reward. But this time, the reward will not come with fear. Before I continue, my beloved child, allow me to pause. For there is a sacred secret I've kept just for you, and now is the moment I choose to reveal it. Their evil plan to keep you broke. The elites of the world want to keep you broke and struggling. But now we know their secrets. By using their hidden secret, you can massively improve your manifestation abilities and create enormous abundance for yourself very quickly. This has to be the fastest and easiest way to manifest your desires. Your brain and body have no choice. They must get in line when you give them the right inputs. I found the hidden secret that the elites use to manifest abundance. When you use this, you'll open the floodgates to wealth and never have to worry about it again. This is your key to finally being free, but they are actively trying to keep this secret hidden from you. It's nothing like what I thought it would be. Are you ready? Learn how they do it. I was blown away. If you're struggling to create abundance or manifest, this might be the most important message you see all year. You won't be shown this again. My beloved child, now is the time to act. Step forward in faith. God bless you. You won't sabotage it. You won't push it away. You won't question if you're ready because heaven has declared that you are. And what God declares, nothing can revoke. That is why Archangel Michael has remained close to you these past weeks. You may have felt the tension in your sleep. You may have felt watched in the quiet moments. You may have even sensed something behind you during your late-night walks or while staring out your window. That was not your imagination. That was angelic presence. That was divine surveillance. You were being guarded not from danger but from doubt. Because when you carry a miracle this significant, heaven must intervene to protect it from the influence of fear. Fear that whispers, you don't deserve this. Fear that lies, this can't last. But those voices are not yours. They never were. And now they are being silenced permanently. This message you're reading is not just a prophecy. It's a contract. It is heaven's agreement that what you've been promised is not only real, but on the way. It is the date stamped by divine order. What unfolds on that day may not all be visible at once, but rest assured in the spirit realm, everything begins shifting on that day. Decisions will be made in your favor. Delays will be reversed. Secrets will be revealed. People who spoke against you will lose access. And most importantly, your spirit will begin to remember who you really are. That memory is key because when you remember, you reclaim authority. You stop asking for permission to shine. You stop waiting for signs to believe you're chosen. You simply walk in it. And when you walk in it, miracles chase you. Not because you need them, but because they are drawn to your light. You were not created to live in constant survival. That was never God's plan. You were created for purpose, for peace, for power. And now that you've endured enough wilderness to value your destiny, heaven is releasing you into the season you were born for. It will look like sudden favor to others, but to you, it will feel like home. You'll feel safe in your body again, safe in your spirit, safe in your knowing, and that security will be the soil from which everything else grows. Your relationships will become sacred. Your money will multiply. Your confidence will become contagious. And your whole life will become a testimony. So hold this close. Protect this revelation like you would protect fire in the rain. Keep it sacred. Keep it quiet. Don't talk about it too soon. Don't post about it for approval. Let this bloom in silence, because when it's time, when it's fully grown, your light will be impossible to ignore. And by then you won't care who doubted you, because your eyes will be on God, not on the crowd. You were always chosen. You were always called. And now you are finally activated.